Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Video Game Losers Show, episode 7, I believe. I think so.
Sure.
Sure, why not? I am co-host Dirt, along with...
Killen.
And you look exhausted.
I am.
How was Toy Fair?
Exhausting.
Fair enough. Any good stuff there?
No.
Nothing.
I have nothing to say about Toy Fair.
Wow. That's pretty bad.
Yep.
So are you canceling all other conventions this year since that one was so terrible?
No, that one's not really a fun one. That's a bunch of like sitting in a room, listening to people talk about their stuff, and then hurrying up to your next appointment and like not really getting anything. And
I see.
it's kind of it's just long and boring, and it's really early in the morning, and you have to stay really late, and it's kind of like it makes me feel like I'm in school. You know what I mean?
Wow, that bad, huh?
Yeah, it sucks.
Was there a hot teacher there at all?
No.
Ooh.
That's even the worst part.
Brutal. Brutal. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at some of the video game news from this past week. First up, Blizzard announced World of Warcraft Monopoly and StarCraft 2 Risk. So, if you don't want to play the video game versions, you can now play the board game versions. And not only just like good board games based off of the games, but just Monopoly with the World of Warcraft skin on it, or Risk with StarCraft stuff. I think the Risk I might actually play.
The Risk one makes sense, but I mean, really, World of Warcraft Monopoly, at this point, who cares? Monopoly's done everything. They have 400,000 different Monopolies. You can get Monopoly and Monopoly. It's that.
Can't you do your own custom ones, like mail in?
I'm sure you
your
could.
own one made.
You don't even have to mail it in. You just write on the board. This is Killen Space. This is
not quite the same.
Not free for you parking. I mean, anybody could do it.
Do you think you would ever get a custom Monopoly?
Oh, yeah.
Do you play Monopoly at all?
Sure.
When was the last time you played Monopoly? Either electronic or board game?
I played Monopoly Party. That's the last time I played Monopoly. And that was, I don't know, a couple years ago.
I've got it on the PlayStation 3, actually. On PSP.
Well,
I play it all the time.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a fun game.
It's alright. Yeah. So I like it much more electronically than the actual like having to count out all the money and deal with all the little crap.
I'm lazy, so
all right.
Yes.
Last week on this show we talked about Dear Esther, the game that people argued wasn't really a game and some people said was a game, and well, regardless, Dear Esther turned a profit in just 5 hours and 30 minutes on sale. It was made with an original investment of $55,000, and they made back that $55,000 in 5.5 hours. They sold 16,000 copies. It was the top-selling game on Steam for the entire day.
Why?
And now any money that they make is going straight into their pockets. Pure profit from this point forward.
Why?
Why? Because it's called Dear Esther. And that alone made it worth buying for, I'd say, at least 15,000 of the 16,000 people.
I don't get it. I don't even want to think about that. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Is it really?
People paid to watch a movie that you can click through every so often?
Sure, why not?
Got it.
All right, then. Now, next up is a rumor from Xbox World Magazine saying that the Xbox 720, or whatever it will be called, is going to use a touch-screen controller. Much like the Wii U, this will have a high-definition screen surrounded by the regular PlayStation controller buttons and joysticks, and probably very expensive. It will work as a remote for your TV, it'll work for browsing the internet, and of course the 720 is rumored to have Kinect built into it, so you can... they're also saying you can do like augmented reality where you look around on the screen and the Kinect will track where you are and what you're looking at and do fun stuff like that.
And why do they think this rumor is what's going down?
I don't know. This is just Xbox World Magazine. It's what they say. They have an inside source. They got a scoop. They got the news.
Well, obviously, Nintendo gets the share of the money when it comes to console gaming. So if they're like, oh, Nintendo is going to release that, oh, so do we. Why wouldn't you? It's the next thing, right?
I just think the idea of these expensive controllers is going too far.
They're already expensive. I mean, have you tried to go buy a PS3 controller?
Oh yeah, it's like $60.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, good. Yeah, but the idea of having like an HD, like you're buying a tablet, like you're actually buying a $200 tablet plus the controller stuff added on. So you're looking at, a couple $100 just to replace the controller if you lose it. And you know that the system's going to be worthless without it.
Right.
So if it breaks, if you drop it, if the screen cracks, if the battery won't charge, any one of those stupid things that happens all the time to consumer electronics, then you can't play it any other way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then you're just out of luck. Pay another $200, replace that controller. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to the next generation of consoles.
I don't get it. Whatever.
All right. Last week also we talked about Notch dealing with Double Fine trying to make Psychonauts 2. The creator of Minecraft said he'd throw in the money. Well, as it turns out, Psychonauts 2 is going to be a bit more expensive than they thought. Originally, they thought it might be about $1 million to put a game like that together. So they started doing the math and crunching numbers, and it looks like it's going to be about 3 times that.
Like, oh, I forgot to add the 1 and then a 2.
So they're thinking, it's possible maybe they'll go back to Kickstarter and try to raise more money, considering that their $400,000 point-and-click adventure game is now like $1.5 million that they've raised. So they might be able to do that, but they're just not sure.
Some people should probably not want so much money to develop this game. I'm sure the guy that's in charge is like, well, I need like $200,000 a year myself.
There's got to be. I mean, I don't understand why it would be that expensive.
It's really going to be man hours of labor, I would guess, but $1 million, really? And you're going to develop it probably within a 6-month period?
And it's Psychonauts 2. So it's not like a graphically intense game.
So you're obviously paying a lot of people a lot of money. So that's all it is.
It's the healthcare bill, I guess. It's the healthcare. All right, next up, Gotham City Impostors apparently has a glitch that erases everything that you've earned in the game. It apparently is a glitch in people who got the demo version and then unlocked the full version within it. They upgraded, and at some point they hit a glitch where they lose all their stats, they lose all their experience, and one thing that Gotham City Impostors has is special XP expanding additional content. So people paid money for items that would help them get XP faster. And then they turn around and find that not only is their content gone, but their XP is gone.
Oh, great, perfect.
So apparently, and this is also not just a PlayStation problem or a 360 problem. This is a cross-platform problem. So this is a problem with the game itself. So you can't blame, the PlayStation coders or the 360 coders. This is a problem deep within the core.
But I will.
So who are you going to blame, 360 or PlayStation 3?
Oh, PS3. Nazis.
Really? No, I think it was anonymous hacking in.
Yeah, whatever.
The hackers do that.
So, what do they do with that situation? Like, are they backing this stuff up, hopefully?
I don't know.
Or are they sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
if you get playing some more.
I mean, if they don't have the data tapes in the back, some guy pulling off the reels and put the new reels on to keep everything backed up, I don't know how you would even restore that.
And then how do you know someone's not lying? Yeah, I had all this experience and stupid glitch.
I mean, is there any way you could prove it if there's not a backup? I don't think there would be. But apparently the thread is like 70 pages long of people complaining on the. Which, I mean, of course, you're going to start a thread and start complaining. Everyone's going to.
Well, I hope they fix that problem.
You hope.
And they're like, there's a glitch, huh? That's weird. Have fun.
Yeah, it sucks to be you. All right. On the Nintendo 3DS store, we actually got the demo for Metal Gear Solid 3D, which is pretty big news for a lot of people. But, of course, the big, huge news today having to do with Nintendo is that Hulu Plus is now available on the Wii. So, if you want to pay $7.99 a month to watch TV shows from Fox, NBC, and ABC, watch it through your Wii on your television set with commercials, you can do that now. The Hulu Plus service does still put ads in your TV shows as you're paying for it. You can also watch more of them online in a regular web browser, but you pay the premium to watch partial content from Hulu actually on your TV screen with commercials in the middle. So I don't see how have they not displaced Netflix. I just haven't figured that one out.
What do you mean? Because Netflix doesn't make you watch commercials.
Well, I know, but apparently people would want to watch commercials. Why else would they start a service where you have to pay $7.99 a month to see TV shows and movies with commercials in them if that wasn't what people were, clamoring for? People want commercials. It's that sleep. You haven't gotten enough sleep. You're not thinking this through. People want commercials in their shows. No one wants to watch a show uninterrupted. People like, the other thing they like is when the little guy down in the corner will pop up and look around, and then it covers the bottom third of the screen saying or Star Wars Episode 1.
Or if it's a flash animation and you mouse over it and it blows up your whole screen.
When you're watching online or something.
What?
Yeah,
No.
People like that. That's what they go for.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interactive advertising on top of the show you're trying to watch is sometimes better than the show you're watching.
That is true.
That's a sad truth about that one. Although, to be fair, one thing that Hulu does have is a lot of movies about pot. A lot of weed movies. Why it should be legalized, the government conspiracy, how aliens gave it to us to make humanity better. All those great types of movies are available on Hulu. Yes.
Aliens gave it to us?
Aliens gave us weed to make society better, to help grow humanity and expand our minds. You got to watch documentaries. Look, I'm telling you, this is brain food.
Never considered that.
Although it's weird, every time I watch one of those movies, I get the munchies. I don't know, just
Contact high. I think that's what it's called.
Finally, Sony has announced that they are offering incentives to PlayStation Vita owners. Get those Vita owners interested. Side note, we didn't get one single email or phone call from someone who's buying a Vita. So, there you go. But they've announced that they're going to allow cross-play PlayStation 3 downloadable content for free. So what this means is that if you go out and you buy Hustle Kings, the pool game for your Vita, you'll be able to download Hustle Kings downloadable content on your PS3, allow you to start the game on your PS3, continue it on your Vita, or vice versa. But also, if you leave home with your Vita and you're playing Hustle Kings and your buddy at home pops onto your PS3 and decides he wants to play Hustle Kings, you can play versus each other with that downloadable content. So you can do two-player. You can even sit in the same room with your handheld and with the PlayStation 3.
Clearly, the victor is the one on the PS3.
Also, the new Wipeout 2048. If you already own the Wipeout HD and the HD Fury pack, you'll be able to get the Wipeout downloadable content for PS3 for free. So, Wipeout, again, you can race against your buddy. That one makes a little more sense with the racing. That seems like a better deal than playing virtual pool. But I guess if you're really into pool, that you might really want Hustle Kings instead.
Well, I definitely want to play pool on a different screen because I don't want you to see what I'm about to do.
Because it makes a difference in
pool. You might block me.
You might plan your next move after my move differently, seeing what I'm moving for.
Yeah, and I ain't having that. You're not going to see what I'm about to do. You're just going to learn about it when it's your turn.
See, I would like to play you versus you in Wipeout, and have you be on the TV and I can be on the Vita. That way I can look at the TV and see what's behind me because that's always where you'll be.
Oh, nice. Cheater.
Scorch Pow! That's a burn. Alright, that's going to do it for news for right now. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to take a look at some of the new releases coming out this week. Hey guys, DiRT here. Don't forget to check out the news desk every Saturday on the Pop Culture Network. We're going to be talking about this week's releases of toys. If you want to know all the toy news of everything that's going on, that's ever been worthwhile, that's ever worth a penny of your hard-earned money, you're going to check out the news desk, popculturenetwork.com. Every Saturday, make sure you check it out.
Okay, so what's going on this week for releases? Well, guess what? You're getting another wave of Vita titles because, in fact, the Vita is releasing this week.
You got yours yet?
No. So, instead of going through and trying to talk you into it, I'm just going to tell you what's coming out. That's it. He's going to
go through the list of Vita
titles.
names.
And then we're going to move on to other stuff that's more important.
Okay.
So, first title up, you're going to get Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
That'd be fun.
Shinobi-Doo?
Shinobi... Yeah.
Shinobi-Doo 2.
Okay.
I don't know.
I missed the first one, apparently.
Revenge of Sin. Is that really Shinobi-Doo?
Shinobi-Doo.
Okay.
Shinobi-Doo.
Whatever.
Shinobi-Doo!
And you're getting Army Corps of Hell. And why not? And then you're getting Touch My Katamari.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So,
I didn't know where you were going with that at first. I was a little scared.
It's still a little sketchy. Next up, we have Drone Extreme. Hustle Kings, like you
Ah, yeah,
mentioned,
there you go.
yeah. Dynasty Warriors Next.
Next.
I guess they gave you up on the numbers. And Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus.
Ooh.
So an incredibly hard game, but plus, as in more hard. So that's what we got for there.
That's what plus means, is more hard?
More hard.
Not more levels, just more hard.
More hard, like she said. More hard.
Ooh.
Okay.
Sketchy.
Now, coming up, we have some downloadable content for the 360 on the Live Network. It is Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which is a standalone spin-off for the Xbox Live Arcade that is basically based on the same game, but like a spin-off of one of the crazy people that's in the game.
Ah.
American Nightmare, he's a crazy serial killer, and now you get to play his like independent game.
Can I play it not having played Alan Wake?
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I think you get more out of it if you actually played Alan Wake.
Because I just played Luigi's Mansion and just called it Alan Wake.
Well, all I gotta say is this one, the trailer looked a little bit ridiculous. It's just a guy killing people with a camera in a room, and he's like crazy, and he's laughing at it as he's cutting people, and he's like, "Oh, crazy."
Oh,
He's
actually,
dancing
that
around.
sounds pretty good. I might try that one.
So it's funny to watch. I don't know how great the
Manhunt
game's
3.
gonna be. No, we'll see.
All right.
Up next for the PC, we have Out There Somewhere.
Like
Now,
an American Tail with Fievel?
This is a retro puzzle platformer that counts on teleportation mechanics to solve its challenges. It looks very much like a old school Metroid with some updated graphics, of course. It's a side scroller. You jump around. To me, when I watched the video back, I was like, "This is Metroid."
But with teleportation.
Super Metroid.
But with teleportation.
Yeah, it's kind of how you solve the puzzles when you get stuck at certain places. Like, most of the side-scrolling action games that you see out there, there's always some twist. There's always something you got to do. You got to step on the statue, or you got to push the statue, or you got to throw a pot at somebody. I don't know, whatever.
Wait, who are you throwing pot at?
Yeah.
What?
That Hulu. Okay, and up next we have Outdoors Unlimited for the PS3, Wii, 360, and PC multi-platformer.
Wow.
Now, Outdoors Unlimited is a game just for you because it is the first game to combine hunting, fishing, and camping with a role-playing system.
What? You can go camping? You can pitch a tent, start a fire?
So all you sports game nerds out there, now you're going to get a little bit of the RPG in your world.
But wait, that's not even sports nerds. That's fishing and hunting nerds.
Those are your dad's got to play a game. Well, now he can get into the RPG a little
Not my dad. You don't know my dad.
So basically, you're gonna go around, hunt, and like get better gear, and it's totally an RPG, and it's what you would do normally in an RPG, but it looks just like the regular hunting games that are out there.
So could I pretend it was like the end of the world and civilization has fallen and I've escaped into the woods, and I'm hunting and feeding myself, living off the land?
You could, but that'd be kind of.
Well,
actually, that might work.
That sounds more
It might
fun.
make the game a little more interesting.
Yeah.
You won't have to realize you're just playing, one of those
Wolverines!
Okay, well, whatever. Up next, we have a game for the DS and the 3DS. Same game, just a different title.
Oh, really?
It's called Fractured Soul. If you get it on the DS, it's going to be called Fractured Soul. If you get it on the 3DS, it's called Fractured Soul Deep Void.
Whoa.
Now, this is a 2D side-scrolling action game that allows you to follow Jack DeSalle as he travels through the galaxy fighting aliens. Whatever. But here's what's cool. This game obviously is on two screens here, and what you're seeing is one reality here and one reality here, and you're moving at the same time. So it's like if you're in the same world, but just different realities of the same world. Okay.
But
So as you're fighting enemies on this map, And let's say you're on an island. Well, maybe up here on this world, you're kind of still in an island, but maybe there's like some water. It's like the same world, but two different realities of the world. And you shift between the two. So it's a fast-paced side-scrolling. So let's say you're shooting ships coming at you from up here. You can shift down here, and maybe there's no ships because you're in a different world. And you shift back to the other world, and you can fight some stuff here. And maybe there's some new creatures here, and you shift down to the world again. So it's kind of a weird, cool... It's a different twist on the game, and it really uses the dual screen of the DS.
So does it use the 3D of the 3DS in the Deep Void version?
Yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's. I mean, I don't know why they title it differently. It's essentially the same game with... Well, I guess they would have a little more added content because of the 3D abilities.
Well, they wouldn't want people getting confused by the 2D, thinking they're getting the 3D.
I guess that's the reason, but they should have just called it 3D, maybe. I don't know. Let's not complicate things. Up next for the PS3 as a downloadable content expansion pack, we have Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception Flashback Map Pack 2.
Whoa! You sure about that?
So the part 1 came out not that long ago, so now this is the second installment, including new worlds, environments, special items, blah, 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 blah. So that's out. I really don't have much else to say about it. It's just another expansion, pretty similar to the first one, just part 2.
Huh.
Up next for the 3DS, we have Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, you got more for that? I was waiting for you to follow up with another line.
Okay.
I mean,
so,
I like the Metal Gear games. I love them.
Okay, what's great about this, it'll let you experience an all-new reinterpretation of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, which was previously on the PS2. So it's the same game, reinterpreted with 3D for the first time ever. So you get in the game, and they're going to take a lot of stuff they didn't like of the game, fix it, make it look better, and they're going to throw 3D into that. So if you love Snake Eater 3, you're going to love this version as well.
Actually...
Full price 3DS game, major retail, $39.99.
Actually, I have to say, Snake Eater, I love the mechanics of the game, but I wasn't too keen on the storyline. Because it went back. I wanted it to go forward.
Because
I don't want to play as Big Boss. I know what happens to him.
Let's just say that story is a little confusing anyways. So how just
a hair.
Just so how you can figure out that you're going back and not forward, I'm surprised you know that.
Oh, really?
Yes, because that...
me specifically or anybody?
That story is completely whacked out.
Is it wiggity whack?
Wiggity whack, whack, whack. Okay. Next up, here's a good one. There is a game called Syndicate. It's releasing. It is going to be on the PC, the PS3, and 360. Now, Syndicate, for anybody who knows, was an old game from the early 90s on the PC that allowed you to control corporation like robots, an overhead view, and they would go out and like take care of the corporation. Because in the future, the corporations own the world. Basically.
Wasn't it on Genesis or something also?
Maybe. I think it was. I can't remember what major company did it. I thought it was Bullfrog, but basically, it was an amazing game. I loved it. I played it a million times. Yeah. Well, now they're reinventing this game. Same type of game, but now it's a first-person shooter instead of an overhead thing. So now you're a mech, a Terminator, essentially. In the future, working for the corporation, doing their dirty work. But now it's going to be, instead of an old-school overhead game, which was great, it's going to be a first-person shooter, which actually looks really good. It looks like they got this one right with the graphics, the way the game looks like it's going to play.
It was great. Bullfrog, Electronic Arts, Amiga CD32, PC, Mac, Sega Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, 3DO, Atari Jaguar, Acorn Archimedes, NEC PC 9801, and the Mega CD. So it got quite a bit of release there, but not the Genesis, not the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that game was... I want to play that game now, just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was 1993.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I remember playing on the PC. That was one of those games where, I mean, the consoles were still kind of like their own thing back then, and I remember that was one of those games that if you had a PC, that was one of the games that you had. Everybody had that game.
Yeah, I loved it. So that's coming out as a major retail game, $60 like you would with any major retail game.
But it'll be $29.99 on Steam in like 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm going to buy it if it does. Up next, we have Heavy Fire Afghanistan for the 360. Now, this is only a $20 game. It's going to be released like normal. It is basically just a fast-paced action shooter game set in modern-day Afghanistan. So if you're not able to go over there and fight the real war, you can, by God, play it on the 360.
And why wouldn't you want to?
Why not? Sure.
Just go ahead and live it.
I'm sure it's fun.
Yeah, why not?
You ready for another military game? There you go.
Because there aren't enough shooters.
There's not enough shooters to keep us busy.
There are not enough modern warfare type shooters.
This is Afghanistan.
Right. Which,
Totally different.
no, completely different.
Completely different.
Not like anything else out there.
Okay, and finally, our last game is going to be Asura's Wrath on the 360 and PS3. Major full retail, $60 game. Now, this is... Let me just read what they put here. Asura's Wrath blends Asian mythology with science fiction, telling the story of an ancient god stripped of his powers who has sworn vengeance. This is God of War.
Wait.
But with not Greek mythology, Asian mythology.
Well, that's completely different.
It even looks exactly like God of War. It plays like God of War.
Is it really?
Yes, it does. I was watching the video. I mean, as you're watching it now, you can see it is essentially God of War, just some slight differences. Obviously, the mythology is a little different, but it looks like they just put a different face and paint over everything and then changed some letters from being O's to squiggly lines, and there you go. That's
So wait a minute. You're saying that Asian mythology is different from Greek mythology?
apparently.
That blows my mind. I had no idea.
So if you like God of War and you're looking for another one, this is God of War Part 4, essentially.
I thought Heavenly Sword was the next God of War.
What?
What?
That was old.
Yeah?
So, Asura's Wrath. For all you God of War nuts out there.
Are you going to play that one?
No.
Really?
I haven't even played God of War 3. I still have it like wrapped up on my counter to do
Shrink wrapped, still sitting
Yeah,
in
it's
there?
still sitting there. I got it as a gift when it came out, and I have not even opened it.
Wow.
So, what's that say?
That you don't read video game manuals on the toilet like I do. Because I'll at least open it and take the book into the bathroom.
Sitting on the toilet. Sitting on the toilet. Reading game manuals.
All right.
And then we flush.
Whoosh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if that wasn't enough entertainment for you right there, we still do have one more segment for our show tonight, which will be the what? What's next?
Fan corner.
In fact, tonight we are giving away Wario, Papercraft Wario, to the letter of the night. Or voicemail, because we do have a voicemail.
Sure, why not?
Sure. So, we'll be right back after this to see who wins the fan corner this week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nap Time Storybook Hour. We are here to lull Killen to sleep, and we're just going to let him have a relaxful moment here. Let's give him a serene story. Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, I heard this one before.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll just have to do the fan desk. Fan corner, fan, whatever.
Desk now?
Everything's a desk now, haven't you heard? So first up, we do have a voicemail we're going to play here. It's kind of soft, so you might have to, dub this in later afterwards. But we'll go ahead and play it now, see if you can hear it, and then we will respond.
Okay.
You. Masters of the Universe, beat 'em up. Enough said. Other than I'm drunk.
Alright, so there you go. Masters of the Universe beat 'em up. Apparently the #1 video game pick for drunk people out there. You're part Irish, right?
Was he cussing at me at the beginning? Like, It was like.
No, you just said Masters of the Universe beat 'em up.
No, I heard that
said.
part, but there was a little like.
There's like the TV in the background or something.
Maybe
it was
like
belching
it was
or
like,
something. I don't know.
Hey, don't tell me I can't call them when I'm drunk. Then he went on to say what he had to say.
So, Masters of the Universe beat 'em up. You think that would like a Streets of Rage or something with Masters of the Universe?
Sure.
Would you play that?
Absolutely.
Really? Okay.
I'm sure it would be terrible because most Masters games are destined to be terrible.
Well, because I mean, look what you're working with, right? I mean, come on. You can only be as good as the source material.
Ooh.
Woo! All right. First up, fan corner question. Orko, member of the forums, he actually dropped 5 questions on us. He's really hoping to win some papercraft. So we'll see if any of these are worthy of papercraft. First off, if any and all older game companies were pulled together in some way for the purpose of re-releasing vintage games and hardware, all easily accessible, all free of bugs, unlike their predecessors, all games in the library of the said system were easily accessible, and the systems would work flawlessly, what system would you want to pick up from your past and play? Maybe you can finally play Earthbound or Halloween on the Atari 2600. What would you get? So any system.
That's kind of a weird question because these systems are still widely available.
Well, yeah, but what about like Atari, Intellivision, ColecoVision,
Oh, I hated Atari.
Vectrex?
So, I have no love for Atari.
I would really like to have an Intellivision and the library of Intellivision games. I think that's why, because I had a friend who had Intellivision, and I never had one. I always had the Atari. A friend across the street had the ColecoVision. It was all right. It was definitely better than the Atari.
I think
Intellivision had the games I wanted to play.
Using the way you laid it out, I would say the system I would like if they worked out all the bugs for it and all that. A Virtual Boy that didn't make me blind. I would love to have a Virtual Boy that I could play again that would not hurt my eyes and make me like, probably crap my pants in the middle of the night because I'm totally
having weird flashbacks of Virtual Boy attacks.
Like I'm some kind of weird person coming out of
I don't know. I have no problem with the Virtual Boy. I can sit and play that thing for 2 hours. My only problem with the Virtual Boy is the wiring. Every Virtual Boy I've ever used has a wiring problem in the controllers where eventually the wires get real loose and the power comes from the controller because the power is actually this giant battery brick on the back of the controller. So eventually it's like it won't turn on, so you have to sit there and jiggle the cord until you can get it to turn on. And then you got to be real careful, otherwise you turn it off and you got to sit there and play with it again until you can get it to work. Every Virtual Boy, same way. So that's the only problem I have with the Virtual Boy. But I think the Intellivision, I know they did one of those systems a few years ago, like they do with the Ataris, where you plug it in the TV and it had like 12 games in it or 16 games or whatever. And that was, okay, but I'd really like to get, a lot of those old classic, like the Tron games and stuff. They had 3 or 4 Tron games on the Intellivision. And I own them, I just don't own an Intellivision that works to play them on. So. All right, second question. If you were in charge of making a new Smash Brothers game, what characters would you remove from the roster? What characters from the Nintendo company would you add? And what characters from other companies would you add into it?
I would remove all of the current cast in that game. And I would replace them with the cast of, let's say, Mortal Kombat. And would just make it simple.
And just make it Mortal Kombat?
Basically, but on a 3D environment where you could totally, knock somebody into the far-off distance, That'd be great. I'd love that. That'd make me happy. I don't care if it's Mario characters. I want to try a different property. Mortal Kombat, Smash Brothers, Mortal Kombat would be awesome.
It might be a fun change of pace for...
And you could do fatalities, and when you punch them into the sky, but you, punch their face off or something. So, yeah, it'd be great.
I can see that. Sure. Why not? All right, third. If they made a great Pokemon console game, how would you have it done? I can't help but imagine a Final Fantasy type game where if you choose, you could allow your Pokemon out of their balls to play or actually release Mon into the wild yourself. Great Pokemon console game.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
a full-on RPG with a more serious tone.
Because the RPG, the console games they have now are kind of like RPGs, but they're very simplified, very linear. It's very much hey, go to the guy in the brown house. And then you go to the brown house. You talk to the guy, and he goes, oh, you got to go to the other city. And then you go to the other city. And then they go, hey, go talk to that guy. And then you talk to that guy and you battle. I mean, it's very much point A, point B, point C, which is great for my 7-year-old. He loves playing those. But, yeah, I think either a deep RPG like that, or even, this is what I'd like to see, if an evil wizard cast a spell on the Pokemon world and made them all feral, and then it's like a Resident Evil style survival horror, but it's all evil, bloodthirsty Pokemon coming to rip you apart.
Well,
you got to club them to death. You got to shoot them.
You just capture them? Capture them?
Well, if you can club them hard enough and capture them, then you can like re-release them in the boss battles.
Well, if you release them since they're feral, wouldn't they like just attack you again?
Well, no, because once you catch them in the Pokeball,
it's like being a Ghostbuster, capturing a ghost, and then like letting it out and be like, okay, now fight for me.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna come out and beat the crap out of you.
Right. Well, yeah, but wouldn't that be a better game?
Survive your own Poke battles. It'd be you releasing your figure to see if he's gonna be all right this time around.
Maybe just a random chance
cool.
he's going to attack you.
You're shaking him up. You gonna be cool? No. You gonna be cool? No.
Throw him in the microwave for a minute. Drop him in the toilet. Something. You know, if he's not behaving.
You just irritate your own Poke guy.
Yeah, why
just
not?
Make him mad.
Why not? Because you can shake controllers now.
Like, if you're not gonna be good, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna kick you. We're gonna play the football with you.
You like the football?
The football.
Alright, next. I'm considering writing game-inspired fan fiction. Was wondering if you had any ideas what you'd like to see written. For example, would a story be something like, how did the Mario Brothers live when not pestered by Bowser? Were they truly born in the Mushroom Kingdom or from another world? Things like that. Or I could do crossovers. I'm kind of interested to see where I could go with a Resident Evil / Metal Gear fiction. How about Metal Gear meets 007? I think that'd be pretty cool. He's on a mission, he's sneaking in somewhere, and suddenly there's the other agent on the secret mission in there. They got to team up, work it out, suddenly it's like a buddy cop movie.
Well, who's the funny one?
Well, come on, that'd be Bond. He's got the one-liners and everything. And then Snake will just sit there and smoke. So, I think that'd be a good crossover. Why not? What about Mario? You want to know what Mario does in his off time? I want fan fiction of Mario actually being a plumber.
He does Cooking Mama, basically.
He plays Cooking Mama and plunges toilets.
I'm making a pizza.
So, hey, there might be something there. All right, finally, 5th. You guys were talking last week about how someone on your voicemail was simply pressing buttons. Remember that scene in Short Circuit 2 where they played a kind of tune off the tones the keys made? Maybe that call was a call for help.
That's what I said.
I don't know. That's a Short Circuit 2 reference right there. I think that's pretty
Johnny
good.
5, man. In the house.
Hey, he turned gold in that one, if you remember.
I was always sad they never made
a third one?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it never was like a ABC Family made-for-TV movie.
Or,
Short Circuit Takes New York or something like that,
I'm sure as we're talking about it, there's probably going to be releasing next week the Short Circuit.
No, here's what they need. They need Short Circuit Home Alone. And so the robot basically gets delivered accidentally to somebody's house instead of to the military base. And then he breaks out of the box to find nobody home, but then the robbers try to break in. So it's Johnny 5.
Ooh, and hijinks.
And hijinks ensue. I mean, how could that not? That's a winning formula right there. I'm putting that in the public domain. Anybody out there makes movies, Short Circuit Home Alone.
Maybe Rick Moranis can come back and do something.
Dude, if he's going to come back for anything, it won't be Ghostbusters 3. It'll be Short Circuit Home Alone. Because let's face it, that's what needs to be made.
All right. Yeah.
All right, Orko. Next up, this is from Yoda Soup. Lord Killen Dirt, just wondering what vintage game that hasn't already been remade would you like to see an updated version of? Vintage games. I'd say XCOM, but they're doing that. They did Tron.
There's a game on the PC I used to play the crap out of called Master of Magic. And it was from Micropose, of course, one of the great Micropose games. I would love to see that game redone. And I don't want them to go... It's kind of like this. Sid Meier's Pirates, how they redid that?
Right.
Old version was far superior.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to do that kind of an update where they keep the game basically the same.
Just make it a lot prettier.
But make it prettier and add more.
A lot more content.
Now that they can.
Right.
I don't want them to make the game simplified because they took Pirates and they did everything perfectly right, but then they made it so there's only so much you can do. You can conquer that game too quick. On the PC version, they would constantly generate new pirates to go hunt, new pirate hunters to hunt you. On this game, there's like 10 of them, and you get those 10, it's done. And that ruined the game for me because I love that game so much. But after you play it for a couple hours, you got it pretty much done. So yeah, they can keep the games the same, but just update them. But then also allow the content to play on for longer periods of time. Then yeah, let's do that. So Master of Magic for Orion, look it up. It's an amazing game.
All right. I think I'd have to pick, if there was one classic game that I think they desperately need to remake on any new system, would be Tetris. Also, Yoda Soup.
With triangles, not boxes no more. We're going triangles.
I'm going to make out of bubbles. Yoda Soup also asks, which game will next get its name hauled through the mud by Hollywood, making an almost unwatchable version of it? What's going to be the next big licensed game?
Hungry Hippo.
Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that hasn't been.
Because there was a movie called Grand Theft Auto, so someone just has to get the rights to it. So they've got the name, and then they'll make it about a gangster in New York and a bunch of Russians and some hookers, and there you go.
I would watch it.
I'm sure it would be better than the second Carlito's Way. So, I mean, how could you really go wrong?
Wait. Carlito's Way 2 was okay.
Okay?
I liked it.
Well, of course you would like it.
Well, I'm gangster.
Yeah, exactly. Riordan asks, he says, amazing show. Thank you guys for doing it each week. Hey, you're welcome. My daughter's favorite game to play is Super Mario Bros. For the Wii. Playing with her brings back memories from playing Super Mario Bros. On the NES back in the day. I remember beating Super Mario Bros. As a youth with all the neighborhood kids, and everyone was so excited. It was like the greatest thing ever. Do you remember any games that you beat as a kid and had a great experience, either by yourself or with a group? Thank you for everything, and Lord Killen rules.
That's what she said.
No she has ever said that.
Oh, yes.
No she has ever said that.
Many a time.
I call shenanigans on that one.
Many a time.
All right, so the one game I remember as a kid beating distinctly was Wizards and Warriors on the NES.
Oh, yeah.
And it was actually one of those games where we had rented it from the video store, and I brought it home, and I put it in, and I started playing it, like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, whatever. And I remember playing through, and I died, and I started again, and played, and I died, and I started again, and I played, and I played, and I played, and I played, and I finally got all the way to the end, and I beat it. And it was just one of those things where I beat it, and like I set the controller down, and like I rub my eyes, and I look out the window, and the sun is coming up over the houses behind us. So
did music play?
I've been up all night, and I was like in 6th grade at the time, whatever. So it was like my first experience. I just stayed up all night and beat this video game, and that meant something. That was a moment I'll truly. What were we talking about?
The game I remember beating that meant the most to me was Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo, because I had played it so many times before and gotten to a certain point towards the end and never, just got. Right. There's always this one boss battle I could not for the life of me do, and then obviously as I got older I got wise, like, hey man, you just need a power level before you go fight him, and then you just kick the crap out of him. Well, guess what? I did. So, years later, here I am, running through the game, and I had a little brother at the time, and he just, he turned 10. He was already whooping the crap out of the game, making me mad because I'm like, I didn't beat that yet. Don't play my game.
You had a little brother at the time?
Yeah, at the time.
Not anymore?
No, I sold him. So here he goes playing my game, and I remember getting really upset that he was playing the game that I haven't beat yet, and I was like, why are you playing my game? Don't be unlocking content or getting to further points than I have before I do it.
So it's kind of like he was getting fresh with your girl.
Oh, for sure. So I had to take that back, and then I had to run through it, and then after I beat it, I was like, in your face.
Do you like fill up a sock with quarters to beat them with or anything, just to make your point complete?
I just remember, you know, and the dumbest thing about all those old games, the endings always sucked. Every one of them. Every game you beat was a total letdown of how the game ended. You were just like, you are the winner. Misspelled.
A winner is you. Ha ha ha.
And you're like, and then
you're like, that's it.
Cut to the credits. I'm like, no one cares who made these games.
Yeah, and then you couldn't like press the button to skip the credits and go back to the title
and then you gotta watch it because you're like, there's gonna be something after all this. After this 20 minutes of credits, there's gonna be something amazing, and then
nothing.
The end.
And it was just, and it's like the names going up, and it's just like the worst music. Do 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 do.
Yeah, and then it goes
do do.
Continue. And you're like, oh yeah, and it's like the game just restarted.
What?
Jerk. I don't play it again. I'm done with it. It's gone. It's dead to me. So
there you go. All right. Next up, this is from Big Dave XXL. So I bet he's big.
Yeah.
And he's only got one post.
Oh.
So this is his one post.
Well, welcome, Dave Big XXL.
Big Dave XXL. Hey guys, this is mainly for dirt.
Oh.
What's your favorite wrestling video game ever? For me, it's an import for the PlayStation 1 called Tukon Retsuden. It's based on New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I've never found an American release to match it yet. Actually, it was released in America. That game was released on the PlayStation 1 as Power Move Pro Wrestling. They just changed the roster, but it was the same game. And the only reason why I know that is because I bought it because it was made by Ukes, who later went on to do all the SmackDown games. And so I remember I distinctly went out to find that game because it was made by them, and it was as close as you could get to the original Japanese game. Yeah, I loved it. It was great. My favorite wrestling game ever. The Fire Pro series always gets like the big wrestling nerd thumbs up Hall of Fame mention. Everybody loves the ones on Nintendo 64. The WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy, those are the ones that get a lot of attention. For me, though, it's Galactic Wrestling featuring Ultimate Muscle. Because one, I'm a giant nerd for Ultimate Muscle. I love the whole franchise. But two, it was put together by Aki, who worked with basically making the games on Nintendo 64. They made No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000. But it was a kind of a simplified version of those games. It was much more fast-paced, like a fighting game, even though you were doing the wrestling moves. And of course, because it was Ultimate Muscle, you would have these giant moves where you'd throw the guy 10 stories in the air and grab him and then crash down, and all the light would erupt out of it and everything. And they did a couple follow-ups to it. They had one that was on the PlayStation 2. They had one that was arcade-only in Japan. And, I love them all. But, the Ultimate Muscle Galactic Wrestling is what it was, and that was the one that, I love it. I'll still play it to this day. Just a fun type of game.
I like the arcade version of the old 90s game, Superstars.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. All right, I can see that.
Or, wait, is that the right one?
Or is it Saturday? There were Saturday nights.
There's the one with the Legion of Doom, and you could tag team in with DiBiase and
the actual WWF one.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That game was fun. Only on the arcade version. The Super Nintendo version sucked.
What do you mean the Super Nintendo version
sucked? It was not as fun.
Why did it suck?
It just wasn't as fun. I played the crap out of the arcade version, so when I played it on Super, I'm like, oh yeah. And it's pretty close, but it's just not, you don't get the same feel. I think you legitimately need to have a full-on arcade feel for that game to get it really going.
You don't think it works any other way?
It works, obviously, but it's just not as fun. It's not comparable.
Really?
Really?
Really? Really? Okay. Next up, this is from PB Joker. Hey guys, again. Since both of you are somewhat forced casual gamers, which he quotes actually Killen Video Game Losers, The Show, Episode 6. Which,
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you.
Do you guys ever dip into the shoot-'em-up games? I played Jamestown, and I must say it was one of the most difficult and fun indie shooters I've played. Actually, I was just thinking. I was just trying to check here.
I don't even know what that game is, so I can't even tell you.
I think it was in the Humble Bundle, the Indie Games pack.
I love shooter games. I love the fact that I can jump into them, play them, and not give a damn about what's going on. That's why I like Battlefield, the series, a lot. You just jump in, shoot a bunch of people, and jump out. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't have to learn a story. You're just there to shoot people and get out.
Yeah, we actually both have it because
I have it.
We got it. Yeah, we got it in the humble indie bundle that came out a couple months ago. Had Bit Trip Runner, Super Meat Boy, Shank, Night Sky. I to be honest with you, I haven't played it. I'm not a big fan of shooters.
Oh, I'm going to play it because I didn't know I even owned it, but I do own it apparently, so I'm going to play it.
I mean, we'll play it now. Now that we know that we own it. But honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. Shooters, there are different types of gamers, obviously, that like different type of games. And for me, the thing I don't like about shooters necessarily is that there's no really way to win and destroy everything and be complete. Unless you're super awesome, you got 12 thumbs and 6 control sticks or something. But it's really one of those things where you're weaving through the different shots. And I like more slow down strategy, type games. And for me, it just seems like a bunch of stuff flying at me, and me just and then I blow up. So
yeah, pretty much.
So it's not really my type of game. I do play it from time to time. Dreamcast had some really good ones. I remember playing back in the day. But just not really the type of thing I really got into. But we'll try it. We'll bring it up next week. We'll try it this week, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Let you know what we think. Probably won't be as much fun as the regular Jamestown, right?
Oh, yeah. That
Croton.
place is totally hopping. Jamestown Fest 2012.
We're getting a Puritan on, baby. All right. Last question. This is from Nasty Will.
My favorite.
He says, am getting a Vita only because it's my birthday on Tron Day the 29. I just like having all the systems so I don't miss out on anything. Plus, I am on the bus and train to get to work in D.C. So
how can it be your birthday on Tron Day?
Dude, no. Your birthday has to wait. Okay? You say Tron Day is the 29th. I'm just going to have my birthday March 1st. And just let Tron Day have its day.
So you were legitimately born on the 29th, or were you born on the 28th and you're just kind of running it over?
Or were you born the day the original Tron came out?
Because people born
so your birthday's only on Tron Day.
Born on the 29th? That sucks. What do you do?
Because officially you're 12 years old, right?
Yeah.
Because every 4 years, whatever.
I mean, what do you do in that situation? I guess you celebrate on the 28th, right?
Well, I think you're allowed that 1 minute from midnight, from 12 to 12:01, when it goes from the 28th to the 1st. So you just sit around with all your friends, you wait for the clock to hit, and then you go, yay! And then you eat cake as fast as you can, and then you're like, I'm done, yay, minute's over.
What do you do? Because, I mean, when you enter your birthday on, online things, I'm pretty sure they don't give you the 29th as an option when you're in February. You know what I mean? I guess you have to claim 28th.
I don't know. That's a good question. Why don't you write us back, Nasty Will, and let us know. Also, I want to know, if you're getting the Vita, are you getting the 3G version, or are you just getting the Wi-Fi version? Are you going for the AT&T data plan, or are you just strictly keeping it Wi-Fi?
Screw them people. They got enough money.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. You say I like to have all the systems, and I do too. I'll probably buy one in a couple of years when it drops down to $150, whatever. I mean, when 3DS dropped to $169, that was my sweet point on buying that one. I bought the Game Boy Micro just because I wanted to have a Micro. I bought an SP, even though I already had 2 regular Game Boy Advances. I do that. I understand that. I get that.
He's down.
But just not right away. Now I'm not going to pay the $3.99 for it or whatever it is.
Well, you're just not serious about it.
I'm not. No, I'm not serious about it. That's kind of the thing. All right, so we got to give a paper craft away here. We got Drunk Voicemail. We've got Orko.
Do we even know who that is?
No, it doesn't say.
Well, but you don't win because I don't know who you are.
But then we've got Orko, 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 Yoda Soup, Riordan, Big Dave XXL, EB Joker, and Nasty Will.
Well, I'm going to go and give it to Orko because, by golly, Orko deserves it.
Wait. Are you giving it to Orko, Orko, or Orko?
Wait. Did you say Orko?
Orko.
Whoa. No, Orko.
Orko? This Orko?
Yep.
So great Pokemon console game, Orko?
Yep.
That's the one that wins it for him?
You're the one who wins because you, my friend, deserve a win.
All right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to contact you, which I guess you could do right now.
Yeah,
then we will send you out a autographed Wario paper craft figure like this one. Woo.
Although we'll send the flat ones, right?
Yeah, we'll send the unassembled one. This is just what it will look like when you put it together. And for all you guys out there, we will keep this up because we do have a bunch of these to give out. So we'll just keep giving these away until we find something better. Because right now we're kind of in that weird transition period where we don't have necessarily amazing things. But we do want to keep giving these out because they're kind of cool. And I guess we'll just give this one out this time. I know we decided that maybe we're going to give a couple of them out, but I don't know what we're going to have for next week. So I want to kind of keep the stock okay. So, Orko.
But I tell you what, we'll throw a couple extra things in there too. Like we'll throw in how about an Avengers poster? Avengers Origin and Thor. We'll throw one of those in there too. So
I'm just gonna randomly grab stuff.
Yeah, maybe some other stuff. Maybe a pocket knife. Is it? You want to just ship out a random pocket knife?
That's a bad idea.
Oh, okay.
That's a bad idea.
Maybe not a pocket knife.
Legal says we cannot do that.
Can you put an apple in there, like a whole apple?
You're going the wrong direction.
Okay.
Wrong direction. So that's that.
Well, I'm typing the message to him, so give everybody the phone number, the email.
Oh, I don't know all that information. Well, guys, that's pretty much it for this episode. So be sure to check us out every Monday at the popculturenetwork.com. And for past and future episodes, you can go to videogamelosers.com, which will just give you a direct link to our show specifically. If you want, you can send us an email. I'm Killen at popculturenetwork.com, and this is DiRT at popculturenetwork.com. If you want to leave us a voicemail, please call us at
area code 217-953-4025.
Real simply, just give us a call. Try to keep it under 30 seconds, and we'll use it in an episode. If you want to call and just leave a weird, crazy message, you can do that too. But if you want it to be played specifically on the air, please keep it short, and please try to talk directly so we can understand what you're saying, and maybe tell us who you are. That's always good. Please also be sure to visit us on the forums. Just go to popculturenetwork.com, click on the big forum button you can find on either side of the page. Go into the video game section and look for the subcategory of Video Game Losers. And there you can leave your comments, questions, suggestions, and all that for the next upcoming episode. And you can also comment on past episodes that we have done already on there. Also, when you're there on the forums, look around at all the other categories and join our fan community in this show and many others that we do here on the Pop Culture Network.
Wait, we do more than one show?
More than one show. It's amazing.
Wow!
On various topics, including comic books, toys, video games, of course, and pretty much all the geeky, nerdy stuff that you all love and enjoy on a weekly basis. Also,
what?
Finally,
what?
If you're there on the Pop Culture Network and you just want to figure out how you can help us grow and contribute to the site, just go ahead and click that shop button that you find there on the page and go visit our web store with over 20,000 items available to be shipped to you anywhere in the world. Now, you'll find anything from comic books, toys, video games, movies, CDs, all kinds of great collectibles, all the stuff that you do buy normally on a regular basis, we do have here available. Now, please understand that every dollar you spend actually does help the Pop Culture Network and these shows continue to keep going. So please don't be shy about ordering and do so often.
What if they don't like our shows?
If you don't like it, please go ahead and still place an order because I have kids and they need to eat.
You have more than one?
No.
I only know about the one. No. Whoa, this is mind-blowing.
You know, there's a lot of dependence on me. That's all I'm saying. We got the intern Rick, and he's a kid.
Oh, true that. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. That's going to do it for this week. Make sure you stay tuned for more episodes, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Holla.